you very much. Can I just say I couldn't agree with you more that it's ridiculous that we're still talking about it at this stage. One of the things which has been difficult and controversial though was UK frameworks. So, to what extent are you supportive, or what do you think about the principle of establishing UK-wide common frameworks for agriculture and environmental policy?
It's fundamental that we do have, to a certain degree, frameworks in place for things such as pesticide use, animal health. Yeah, there are others, but there are certain things. If we're going to trade, we need to have standards. Beyond that, what we'd like to see in Scotland is a policy-making team that can look at what our disadvantages, what our strengths are, and it can alter things accordingly. Look at the structure of our agricultural industry and make changes. We do need some autonomy, but at the basics of that, we do need a common framework.
Does anybody else have any?
I think we're fully supportive of common frameworks. In the seed sector, there's a good example of a European common framework for to legislate against the seed and quality of seed, and how that's administered in individual EU countries is different, and within the UK, Scotland polices it in a different way through SASA than England, and it works very well, and it tailors the requirements to individual geographical areas within.
What could be the impact for agricultural sectors of not having a UK-wide common framework?
I think the most important thing we have to remember in Scotland is our principal customer is England, or England and Wales. We can't eat all our beef, we can't drink all our milk, we can't drink all our whisky, though we might like to try and think we could do it. But we have to have as big a market as we can, and we've been producing to European standards. If we alter nothing, we'll continue to produce to European standards, and in a sensible world, that market wouldn't have lost to us. That remains to be seen, of course.
Do you think without the frameworks, that market could be lost to you?
There is great danger that it could be, and if the European market turned more protective, if we're producing to slightly different standard, then we could easily turn the tap off as far as moving lamb across or beef or whatever.
It's very difficult as a stakeholder to be involved. With devolved agriculture being one of the biggest things that's been devolved, we're between two governments. It's very difficult for the stakeholders, but the UK sheep trade is very much probably the biggest trade south of the border is sheep meat. So for us, it's very important we have overarching now regulations in terms of animal health and movement and things like that. What we have to be careful of is that there are certain parts of the Ag Bill that would remove, like the beef scheme and things like that. So we would be removing maybe particular aspects that we may want to target. So I think the devolved agriculture is working well. The much aligned sheep scheme, it's maybe not what we want, but it gives us the option to do things like that. And I think that the agenda, Mr Ewan's firmly committed to productive agriculture, whereas Mr Gove is looking at environmental benefits. So we have to be very careful of limiting ourselves there. But I think the FSA, the vets and things like that, whether it's a cooperative agreement or whether it's in legislation, there has to be overarching rules on disease. But then again, Scotland could be BSE free, it's going for BVD free, it's TB free largely. So we have the potential to do an awful lot more with animal health, and we don't want to be limited by that either. But there should be overriding transport and health regulations.